So we started Box in 2005 because we saw a confluence of trends that we thought were going to change how people would work forever. We thought that the future was going to be very, very different in terms of how people would want to access, manage, and work with their information. There were three big technology trends at the time that we were sort of at the forefront of. So you saw a rise in mobile devices that people were going to be working from. We felt like the power of cloud computing was going to make it possible to bring down the cost of storage and compute so you could run services in the cloud very easily and over the internet. And then we felt that there was more and more people, as they get connected to the internet, we'd want to collaborate globally and be connected all around the world. And this is what the internet looks like. So this is accurate representation. So we said, okay, with dropping storage prices and compute prices, we're going to want our information in a central place. The internet is growing rapidly, so we want to be connected to one another, and people will be working from more and more devices than ever before. And these technology trends not only changed enterprise software, and not only changed our IT environments, but it also revolutionized so many different industries. This is why companies have been able to go after healthcare and transportation and retail and so many different markets because of and with digital technologies. But there's obviously another major technology trend that's emerging that's going to be incredibly important, and we think even maybe more impactful than those trends combined. And we're seeing it in our personal lives in the form of products like Echo and Alexa or Siri or Cortana. So we're interacting with personal assistants more and more, and these help solve everyday problems for us in a range of use cases that are incredibly exciting. And of course, we're seeing things like self-driving cars begin to emerge, which have the ability to eradicate car accidents and so many other important issues that this type of technology can solve. But this is just the start of things like machine learning and artificial intelligence. We believe that the impact will be greatest when these types of technologies enter the enterprise. And so far, most of the innovation has been isolated to the consumer space. But we think that AI and machine learning will fundamentally change how we manage, how we secure, how we collaborate, and work with all of our information. And we think this is going to change how we think about a lot of different industries going forward. So to come talk about what we're doing in this space and what we're doing with machine learning, I'd like to bring up Jeetu Patel, Box's Chief Product Officer. Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about intelligence. So far, we've seen Jenica and Ciara and the team talk a lot about collaboration and workflow, and specifically, how that's changing the future of work and how it's going to go. But one of the key challenges that you see in this space is that we're all facing a data explosion within the enterprise. In fact, there's going to be more data created in 2017 than the past 5,000 years of humanity combined. And we are also starting to see that the same level of kind of growth is starting to happen within Box, where you're starting to see that our customers' data in Box is actually doubling every year. Now, traditionally, the more information you get, the harder it is to work with the information that makes sense. And you're starting to see a fair amount of kind of challenges that always get expressed by users. So if you think about someone in the marketing team, they might say, I've got tens of thousands of images, and how do I go out and find a picture of a new product on my website? I find exactly what I'm looking for. Or if I'm looking at customer service, how do I go out and look at all the conversations that are going on to really assess what the kind of quality of services that I'm delivering? Or even a legal team where you've got expensive lawyers and paralegals that might manually be entering metadata, to go out and make sure that there's some level of intelligence in the system. So this has been a problem all along. And machine learning, we think, is the only way that you can go out and scale, have this problem solved at scale. Now, the good news is, over the course of the past couple of years, you've seen a tremendous amount of innovation that's happened with IBM, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, around this area of machine learning. There's billions of dollars that have been spent on going out and helping with, kind of solving some really, really meaningful problems. So if you think about, how voice-to-text transcription has occurred and how you can go out and identify objects and images, or how you do facial recognition, there's huge amounts of kind of advancements that have been made in classification of images and going out and understanding the meaning of content, so on and so forth. And in fact, what you're starting to see, and in some of these domains, you're starting to approach approach and exceed the levels of human accuracy as you move forward. So the as you start seeing this, the challenge has always been with this that it's really hard to go out and get these innovations applied to enterprise content within your systems. So just think about what you need to do. You have to identify the ML provider. You might have to go out and do a security review. You have to figure out what the integrations might be with the system. So there's a fair amount of innovation going on in machine learning, but what's not happening, though, is the tight integration with your enterprise content. So they almost seem like two separate worlds. Until today. What we're going to do is have one of the most significant announcements we'll have made in the history of Box that talks about how we can bring intelligence to your content. And so I'm delighted to announce to you a new product that we're going to be launching called Box Skills. And to tell us a little bit more about that, I'd like to have Ben from the product team come up and give you a little bit more of the details in Box. Ben?
Thank you, Jeetu. So as Jeetu discussed, machine learning technologies have been going through a rapid set of innovations. And a lot of the technologies that our partners are coming out with, things like image recognition, audio analysis, video analysis, these are changing the way in which we can interact with our content. But we have a challenge, which is it's very hard to take all of your content and move it to these services. So at Box, our goal is to help you, or is to take the intelligence and bring it to your content. And the way we're going to do this is through Box Skills. You can think of Box Skills as a framework to intelligently enhance your content. And another way to think about it is a layer of abstraction between your files in Box and between the machine learning technologies in the cloud. And to explain more about how Box Skills works, I'm going to use, as an example, our first Box skill, image intelligence. So images in Box are our second most common file type, and they are growing rapidly as users are using images more in their day-to-day work. And one of the challenges is that the more images that you have, the harder it is for you to find the images that you need. And so luckily, image recognition technology is getting very good lately, and we can take the image recognition technology and incorporate it into a Box skill to add metadata to your images to make them much easier to find. And that's what we've done. We now at Box have the skill to recognize images. And in addition to images, we have two more Box skills to announce that will take audio and video files and add intelligence to them. We chose audio and video files because, similar to images, they are very commonly used in Box, and they are unstructured and usually very hard to search for. And we believe that these three Box skills can fundamentally change the way you interact with your content. And so I'm very happy to announce our first three Box skills: image intelligence, audio intelligence, and video intelligence. And to tell us more about what we mean when we say fundamentally change how you work with these files, I'd like to introduce Katie Lee to show us a demo of Box Skills.
Thanks, Ben. Hi, I'm Katie, and I'm really excited to show you today the power of Box Skills. So, as Jeetu and Ben mentioned, it can get really overwhelming dealing with the growing amount of content that you work with on a day-to-day basis. But now, with the power of machine learning, we can make it easier for you to manage, interact with, and experience your content better than ever before. So, now let's see this in action. Something that we hear a lot from customers and marketing departments is that they spend a lot of time on pages like these, just looking at a lot of images, scrolling page after page, just trying to find that one image that they're looking for. But now, when you upload a file into Box, you get even more information than ever before. So, when I click into this file, I can see that we've automatically tagged this image with key objects and image properties. we can see here actually that we have a tennis player holding a tennis racket. And we have those associated keywords on the left. We also see that the image is predominantly green, which we've tagged, and we've even identified the logo as New Balance. We also extract all of the text from the image using OCR. So you can see all of this text from the quotation in the middle, as well as the small text on the bottom. So now you don't have to spend all of your time going through some manual process, typing in all of this information, and just tagging all of your images to be able to search. Instead, you get this automatically when you upload a file into Box using our web app, mobile, Box Drive, our APIs, or our integrations. So now if I actually wanted to search, for example, if I was looking for all images of our tennis campaigns, I can click here and find all of those relevant images. And think not just your marketing images, but also those photos of whiteboards from brainstorming sessions, those floor plans from construction sites, retail images, product parts, and more. But that's not all. As Ben mentioned, we're seeing a lot of growing video content in Box as well. We're hearing from you about all of your customer webinars, your internal training videos, company all-hands, and more. And so actually, while we were preparing for this announcement here, the PR team was asking me if we could find all the times that Aaron had talked about artificial intelligence in the press so that we can make sure our messaging is consistent. So now, if I go into Box and I search artificial intelligence, I actually found this one video of Aaron talking with Jim Cramer on Mad Money about artificial intelligence. So we still have the great preview experience straight from Box on the right-hand side. But now on the left, we actually have these additional cards to help you get to that information that you're looking for within your content. So let's give it a listen.
Have you noticed all the good things happening lately at Box?
We should really listen to this guy. So we've done facial recognition across all of the slides within this video in order to detect all the faces of people who appear. We see here's Jim Cramer and all of the frames in which he appears in this video, as well as Aaron. So since I'm looking for times that Aaron is talking about artificial intelligence, I can actually go to the first time that he shows up in the video and click on that in order to jump to that segment of the video.
Look, to me, this is very exciting. Because to me, this is the intuitive device that I've always.
And we also see a little bit here where the interview turns a bit into a monologue. Probably Aaron going off about Trump again. So we also see here that we've intelligently gotten some topics based on the frequency that they're mentioned inside this video. So if I wanted to learn more about Aaron's tweets, or I actually care a bit more about artificial intelligence, so if I go over to artificial intelligence and click on this, I can see that we actually mention it 4 times across this whole video. And similarly, if I wanted to jump straight to that segment, I can click there and it'll take me to that scene.
Companies and companies of all sizes. So what we can now do with artificial intelligence is begin to automatically classify this content. So you could upload a picture of a shirt, and it would automatically detect what kind of shirt it is, whether it's a men's shirt or women's.
Man, Aaron's stealing my thunder right now. I gotta step it up. So if I wanted to follow along, we've also extracted the transcript for this whole conversation on the bottom. If I just wanted to actually listen in, or if I want to jump to a segment.
That they need to be able to manage and secure and collaborate on. We want to help provide more and more value around that data. So we're 100% focused on the enterprise market. We think we can.
And now let's say that I'm actually on the go and I forgot my headphones. That doesn't mean that I have to stop my work. Now we've actually put the transcripts automatically into closed captioning so that you can actually follow the video along no matter where you are.
bring this technology to enterprises for the very first time at scale and save them millions and millions of dollars, as well as speed up their business processes. So that's squarely our focus as a company.
Excellent.
So now, no more having to watch hours and hours of video just to get to that one segment that you care about. Instead, you get all of this discoverability, all of this interactability, just by working in Box. Now, back to you, Ben.
So our image intelligence skill is now available in beta, and our audio and video intelligence skills will be available next year. But since we're talking about partners and machine learning, we might make a few key points about how Box Skills works. The first is that Box admins will explicitly opt in to enable a skill, and they'll be allowed to enable it for all of their files or just for subsets of their content. Also, we'll be taking the same security standards that we apply across Box, and we'll be applying these to Box Skills as well. And the third point here is that we're trying very hard to make this the most frictionless experience for our Box admins. So we'll take care of dealing with the partnerships with these vendors, and we'll take care of doing the integration work. And all you'll need to do is enable the Box skill in your Box. But we're not done with just these 3 skills. We'll be making more skills as new technologies come out. And but one key point is that we know that much of the value of machine learning will be applying it to your custom business process. And we know that a lot of your employees spend a lot of time with their content in Box doing manual things. And if we could automate them, we'd make them more efficient. And so in order to help integrate skills with your custom processes, we allow you to make your own custom skills based on the skills framework. And to tell us more about this, I'd like to introduce Faizan to come up and show us some examples of custom skills.
Hi everyone, I'm Faizan, and I'm here to tell you about the power of custom skills and how you can use them to accelerate your specific business processes. So I'm going to start with a simple example, which is around legal teams and contracts. So every company has a legal department, and they have lots of contracts, and they end up storing them in Box. So if you look at this kind of sort of free-flowing, unstructured document, it's really hard to start automated processes from these kinds of unstructured documents. Now, let's look at a skill that we developed with the help of an emerging ML startup called Effisoft. So this skill actually analyzed this document and automatically classified it as a non-disclosure agreement. Then it picked up the effective date from within the document and added that to the metadata automatically. It's also picked up the name of the company and the address of the company and added that to the metadata. Then the skill checked at the bottom of the document and found a wet signature. And hence, it added this property: is the document signed? Yes, that's true. And it also added the name of the person who actually signed the document. So you get all of this automatically, and now with this information in metadata, you can kick off an automatic process or a workflow, just like Jenica was describing with Box Relay. Another common document type, just like contracts, is invoices. Invoices are flowing between your employees and your external vendors. And with invoices, we also care for a similar basic set of information from an invoice. The vendor name. This skill can extract the vendor name. It can actually find out the invoice number and extract that. It can figure out the invoice date and extract that automatically. So again, your team can manage and be on top of processing invoices because machine learning extracts this information from the document and adds that to metadata. Now let's get to my favorite custom skill, which is a call center analysis skill. So, but imagine a call center, imagine an outbound sales operation. It's really hard for sales leaders or trainers to analyze trends or next steps from hours and hours of recorded audio. So we're going to look at the audio recording from the support center of a cable provider. So this is a custom scale that uses multiple machine learning capabilities. So we took the audio call, and we ran that through IBM speech-to-text to get the transcription, a searchable transcript. Then we ran that transcript through IBM sentiment analysis, which actually shows you the different sentiments expressed during the audio call. Then we went a step further and customized the actual topics or product names that were relevant to this cable provider. So the cable provider said that I care about when DSL is mentioned, when modem is mentioned, when slow or cancel is mentioned. And the scale is looking for those specific topics or product names. So as we can see, the call sort of starts off from some frustration. So let's see what that is about.
Connection is so damn slow, I can't even load my email without waiting for 5 minutes. How am I supposed to get any work done? I'm paying you people a lot of money, and your service sucks. I want to cancel my monthly plan right now.
Well, that guy was hard to read. And again, to be clear, this is not a box support call. This is a cable company's call center. So you can actually see that frustration aligns with whenever slow or cancel was discussed. And as you look at towards the end of the call, somehow miraculously, there is joy expressed. And you can see that that kind of overlays with a couple of mentions of free upgrade. So let's check that out.
Free upgrade, that does make me happy. Thanks so much.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that. I'll send you an email confirmation right away of your free upgrade.
Whoa, I already got it.
So this is the power of custom box skills. You can actually apply any machine learning technology or a combination of machine learning technologies and get the business logic that is relevant for your business. We're really proud to announce Box Skills Kit, which will be available the first half of 2018, and which will enable you, like any of our platform capabilities, to go out there and build very easily and in a very simple way these machine learning solutions.